What's going on, everyone? Onorato and Miller. It's Chris, solo mission this week, but we've got a bunch of guests on the show. It is college hockey season. We're going to talk with the head coaches from RPI and Union ahead of the season openers. Yeah, second weekend in October. We got first, I'm going to call it the first full weekend in October. Does that make any sense? No, because there would be a first weekend in October. They had exhibition games the first weekend of October. Now we get true opening weekend. RPI at home, Union on the road. We will talk with both men's hockey program head coaches here on Onorato and Miller. Matt Gage, the Broadalbin-Perth Siena grad, now Major League Baseball pitcher, will join us as well. Just recently inducted into the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame. Had a really nice 2025 for himself, setting himself up for a place to play, certainly in 2026. And I'll ask him why now? Why in his early 30s has it just sort of clicked for him, or somebody in baseball noticed something that, why isn't this guy on a 40-man roster and pitching in the big leagues more consistently? We'll talk with Matt Gage coming up on the show as well. I will reluctantly share our NFL prediction records. Ash and I are off to a terrible start this season. Not good, but we will continue to give out the picks, and I will give the caveat of, hey, we don't pick the games we like. We pick the important games, right? So if you get a couple of 4-1 teams against each other, the way the Niners and Bucks are this Sunday, we are picking that game, even if we don't love the spread. It's a game people are going to watch, game people are paying attention to. We're gonna make that pick. All right, let's go. It's Onorato and Miller.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpen House.
Alpen House, Marcella's Novice Performance Industrial with us here on Onorato and Miller. We thank them for their support. This happened Wednesday night. Doing the show live on a Thursday. You find us on TV Saturday nights at 6 on My 4, Sunday mornings at 6 on News Channel 13. For the people waking up early on a Sunday morning and catching this program, we hear about it. We appreciate it sincerely. All right. Yanks season is over. It ends in the ALDS, and it just felt like they ran into an avalanche of home runs from the Toronto Blue Jays. And for as good as the pitching was for New York this season, Fried and Rodon, and then the emergence of a guy like Cam Schlittler, tough to see it end this way. Outscored 34-19, and this was 23-8 after 2 games. So I guess you could say the Yanks almost made up a little bit of a difference there. But I didn't have high hopes for the team, even as far back as when Garrett Cole got injured. And you felt like, well, you've lost him for the year, Tommy John surgery. Going to be tough. Even though you have Max Fried, Rodon, guys I've mentioned, right? Luis Heel, Rookie of the Year. Just felt like, I don't know, that division's tough. And maybe it's just not going to happen for New York. And what do? They win the last 8 games of the regular season. They end up in a tie with the Blue Jays for first place in the AL East, although they lose that tie break. Would this series have been different if home field were in the Yankees' favor? Maybe. It just, from the jump, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just continues to kill this Yankees franchise. And so it's over in 4 games to Toronto. The Blue Jays get to their first ALCS since 2016. As we do, again, the show live on a Thursday night, Toronto awaiting its opponent there. Will it be Seattle? Will it be Detroit? We will find out Friday night. And the National League still very much up in the air with those 2 series going between the Phillies and Dodgers and Brewers and Cubs. Okay. After saying all that, this is what everybody really is talking about.
And now, dirty, difficult, and done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Yeah, our guy Bill Miller, his great team at Performance Industrial, where there's never a job that's too dirty or too difficult for them to get it done. This is what everybody is talking about. Beyond the lazy shouting that they've got to fire Aaron Boone. This is a top-down issue with the Yankees. This is not a dugout issue, or not just a dugout issue with the Yanks. This is a team construction issue, and it has been for years. I have said for years, back maybe even before COVID, that Brian Cashman's job as the GM should be the one in jeopardy, not the manager. For too many years, they've just rolled out what is largely the same boom or bust lineup. It got them to the World Series last year. I think surprisingly, Giancarlo Stanton was great in the postseason. He was not this time around. You can't have Aaron Judge hit 500 in the postseason and you not advance beyond the division series. So I think it's time for Cashman to go into that, quote, advisory role, right? I'm not telling him he's got to leave the organization. He's been there a long, long time. There's value in that. But he can't be the person making the ultimate decision on personnel anymore. Just can't be. And what happens is when the GM goes, oftentimes they want to bring in their own manager. So maybe by way of Cashman being fired or encouraged into an advisory role, well, then maybe that's the end for Aaron Boone as well. I don't have as much of an axe to grind with Boone as Yankees fans do. Cashman is where I would start. Now, this is where I tell you that I met Brian Cashman a number of years ago, and he was very kind, and I enjoyed talking with him, and he let me hold the World Series ring and all this stuff. That's why I'm saying stay with the organization, right? It was time for Brian Snitker with the Braves as a manager. It's time for Brian Cashman with the Yankees as a general manager. Period. Right? Yeah. Boone joined in 2018. Yankees fans were driving Girardi out of town. Victor wants Boone out. Yeah, and he's with me here. Need a new general manager. Yeah, Brian. Vladdy is our daddy. I'm sure many of you saw the celebration, him shouting with holding a beer, a Budweiser, and Poppy in the studio, and them yelling, the Yankees lose. The Yankees lose. Good question here, right? Why do you even pitch to Vladdy in certain spots? Listen, top of the first inning, Schlittler on the mound, I wouldn't put more guys on base. But there were probably some opportunities where, you could pitch around a guy as dangerous as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This is a very popular thing, right? To go to the legendary player and hope that they lead the team to success. There's no way Jeter would do it. I don't believe. And I just don't think the reward is worth the risk. You hire a legend, at some point you're going to have to fire the legend, and that becomes ugly. So you go outside of the organization and you find somebody that fits what the Yankees are trying to do. All right, let's take a quick time out here on Onorato and Miller. Again, our guests, Josh Hauge, Union College, Eric Lang, RPI, Matt Gage, Major League Baseball pitcher from Broadalbin-Perth and Siena. We'll come back here on Onorato and Miller. We've got our NFL picks here for Week 6. Back in a minute.
Imagine coming home after a long day and slipping into your own personal hot tub from Wellness Spas. Let the stress of the day melt away as you soak in the therapeutic benefits of the water. Our team at Alpenhaus wants to help you relax and enjoy the advantages of owning your very own hot tub. Now offering a whole new lineup from Wellness Spas, featuring models from their City Life and Peak Life lines. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs. Visit us at Clifton Park Center and Route 30 in Amsterdam.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on. For cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair, you can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, everybody, cover your eyes. It is not pretty right now what is happening with our NFL picks this season. I mean, I'm telling you, not pretty. Here are the records. I'm not even going to say them out loud. If you're not looking at the screen, I don't want you to know. It's not good. We've got a long way to go. Let's try. Here we go. Broncos and Jets, they're playing 9:30 Eastern, a game from London. 7.5 in Denver's favor. I'm on the Jets here. They're 0-5. They're the only winless team in the NFL. I'm not telling you they're going to win, but the travel and all this stuff, I will take the Jets to find a way to keep this thing within a touchdown. Ash is the smart one here, taking Denver. I'm rolling the dice a little bit with Gang Green. Seahawks and Jaguars, 3-2 Seattle, 4-1 Jacksonville. I will take the home team here, favored only by 1.5, playing some really good football. That defense is good. Seattle on the road. If this were in Seattle, I would certainly go Seahawks. I like Jacksonville at home. Ash does as well. 49ers and Buccaneers, 4-1, 4-1. Doesn't look like Brock Purdy is going to play for San Francisco. So that means Mac Jones again. Bucks favored, not even by a field goal. We're taking the home team. We're laying the 2.5. Tampa to cover that number. Lions and Chiefs, Sunday Night Football, News Channel 13, NBC. Detroit on the road here. Kansas City favored. We're on the road team. Detroit's playing as well as anybody in the NFL right now. Scoring points in bunches. Tough one against the Spags defense. Steve Spagnuolo in Kansas City. We think Detroit finds a way in prime time. And the Chiefs are 2-3. They're struggling. Give us Detroit at 4-1. Bills at the Falcons. Buffalo bounce back here. Primetime game. Lost to New England at home. I think a bounce back here. I like Atlanta. Not in this spot here. So here's what we got. I'm on the Jets. Ash is on the Broncos. We are the same the rest of the way. Jaguars, Bucks, the Lions, Bills. Again, the records will tell you not to pay attention at all to us and what we've done so far this season. That said, we will continue to make the picks and hope we can find a way to get back to what's right here. All right, when we come back here on Onorato and Miller, we are going to talk with both college hockey coaches from RPI and Union ahead of the season openers this weekend. Back on O&M next.
Fest is back at Alpenhaus Saturday, October 18th. We're bringing the party to all 3 locations, Amsterdam, Clifton Park, and High Adventure in Latham. Enjoy food, craft beer, live music, plus a huge tent sale with big savings on equipment and apparel. And we're throwing it back with retro pricing on ski tuning, getting your setup dialed in for the same prices we charged back in 1964. It's all happening Saturday, October 18th at Skitoberfest, only at Alpenhaus. The season starts here.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
College hockey season is here. It's not just coming, it is here. And I've always said this to people, and they get sick of hearing it, I'm sure, is it can sneak up on you because summer ends and you're kind of like ready to transition into fall and winter, and then winter sports are here like that. The head coach of the Union hockey program is Josh Hauge with us here on Onorato and Miller. Coach, it's good to have you on the show. First time. Can't believe I'm saying that. going into year 4 at Union, man. This program has gotten better every year under you. Why?
Well, I think it comes down to our players. I mean, we have a great group. The senior class, when they came in with me, now it's crazy that this is year 4. They really wanted to build something, and I've been lucky to be a part of it and just trying to make sure I serve them any way I can. Super lucky to have the group we do.
How's the new arena?
It's unbelievable. For us to be in this spot and like I'm in my office right now, I can look out the window. It's a little different. It's first class for the guys, everything they need, they have. And it's a great place to come to work every day. There's
something nostalgic about a barn, as hockey people like to call it when you talk about Mesa. But what advantage does this give a program like Union to have the new digs?
Well, it's different. I mean, the best part of Mesa was Friday and Saturdays, but the rest of your week, it was missing a lot of things. I mean, you look at like where we had to lift, we had to share with 26 other sports teams. Now this gives the ability for men's and women's hockey to have access to the weight room all the time. And it opens up other sports on campus, the ability to come down here every once in a while, to have more space, better lifting times. A lot of times we were lifting at 5:36 in the morning. So it's a lot different now where we can get a lift in at 3:00. It gives us the ability to feed our players properly. There's a full kitchen here where we can, have meals made. We can, bring meals in and just, it's pretty nice to have that stuff, which, we didn't have at Mesa. I think just a place where the guys can come in and they have the one-stop shop. They can do their homework. They can lift. They can take a hot and cold tub. They can see the trainer and just more access to them.
Man, we need to get a camera over there from Channel 13, do a little walkthrough with you. That would be very cool if you can carve out some time. We'll figure that out. Did you get VIP access to Lee Bryce when he opened up the joint?
I was out recruiting, so no, nothing that way. My office is, like I said, it's in the main concourse, but I don't know they're letting me in there. So
Mercyhurst you open up with, and then everybody will look at Halloween weekend because it's RPI. But let's talk about the challenge at hand here, the first 2 nights with Mercyhurst. How much of the opening weekend is just preparing your own guys to play the style you want, as opposed to what do you do? Look back at last year's tape of Mercyhurst to try to prepare? What's your balance? Yeah,
I mean, at this point in the season, it's 99% focusing on our guys and us and just trying to be better. Until you get live bullets, it's really hard to know what you have, and you scrimmage and you do a lot of different things, but it really comes down to just playing the game and seeing what we have. So our focus is strictly on us at this point. And, by RPI, when, you get into league play now, there's some video of every team, and,
right.
There's been a little bit of a buildup of what teams are. Then you can start looking at your opposition, but for the most part, just focusing in on us.
What do you have? 19 wins last year. What do you feel like you've improved upon?
Well, I think, for us, it starts with the goaltender in Cameron Corpy, big 6'4" athletic goalie, has the ability to steal a game for us. And he comes here as a sophomore transfer from Michigan, where he was Big Ten freshman goalie of the year. And then I think our back end is new, much newer in the sense of, four new guys have been, will be impactful in our lineup, and they can get up and down the sheet, and they can, they skate really well, and they'll be offensive threats for us. But our scoring is going to come from, 4 players. I think that, our proven scorers in Ben Meathersbaugh, Colby MacArthur, Nate Hanley, and Brandon Beer. All 4 of them had almost 30 points last year. Expect for those guys to hopefully take a jump. And then, some of our younger guys to, go from secondary scoring, hopefully to primary scoring.
Will it be easier or more difficult for your guys on the ice to hear you in the new arena than as opposed to that really intimate atmosphere of Mesa?
Well, the one thing with Mesa is there was such an echo. So at times
you're not kidding.
Yeah, you would yell, and I don't think anybody understood anything. So it's it is just trying to figure out the acoustics, and I think it's a little easier to hear on the ice when you're coaching. But when it's a packed building and everybody's going crazy, it's hard to hear anywhere.
What have you noticed about, now again going into year 4, the fan base here for now the Garnet Chargers? What makes it special?
Well, I think anytime you're in a spot where it's a bigger city, but like it's still a tight-knit community. I mean, that's when you think of what Union hockey is, the people that support it are extremely supportive and passionate about the team. So you really get to know them. They travel to games. They'll make you cookies. They'll do like little things that you just, it's like they're good people that just really care about the players. And, we're lucky to have such a group, but, it's, they want to win and they want to keep taking steps. So I like it. They're competitive as well.
I went on the road with that program a few times, deep runs in the NCAA tournament. And when you go to Tampa and they show out big, you think like, oh, okay. I mean, maybe it's a nice little vacate at Tampa, and then Philly, where this program won it all. It just, you're right. I mean, small enrollment, right? But the alumni network and base is pretty impressive. And you're right. They follow this program strong. Where is it colder, Fairbanks, Fargo, or Clarkson? And I've spent some time in St. Lawrence County, man. It's cold up there.
I'm thankful for my wife right now and the fact that she's been willing to go to these spots with me when you start rattling those off. Fairbanks, like, you just know what you're getting. It's -50, -60. You walk outside, your nose freezes, and it's just cold. Fargo is miserable in the sense, like, the wind just, it whips through and it's bone chilling. And then Potsdam is just, it's kind of dark and dreary, and it's like, it's the snow that nobody likes. It's like mushy and wet, and but nothing to me. There's a spot like where you had to walk into the rink in Fargo, North Dakota, when that wind was blowing. Might have been the coldest spot in the world. Like, it was miserable. But like coming here, I mean, people complain about winters in this area, and I just kind of chuckle because it is like, might as well be in Miami for me.
No doubt. Can you watch other sports postseasons or big games and learn anything as a head coach?
Well, I think, like, when you look at any sport, like, there's a lot of similarities as far as just, in basketball, creating 2-on-1s and, little subtle picks and different things that way. Like, even football, like, if you own the middle of the football field, you're going to have some success. And I think that's similar to hockey. So yeah, I think when you're watching soccer, football, basketball, there's in all those sports, there's, similarities with, especially team sports where, you're looking to own the middle and possess the ball.
Are you able to turn the coaching brain off ever? Are you constantly noticing things? Ooh, maybe there's something there, even just in a practice or a workout with the guys that you could implement.
Well, the nice thing, and for us, is that, like, it's a pretty hockey rich area, and so I help out coaching 2 youth hockey teams in the area. My kids' teams, and they're going every night, and then if you jump on the ice with some other youth programs whenever you can, it really is just it's part of being a part of the hockey community and trying to grow the game. For a lot of people gave me breaks, so if I can help a 10-year-old get a little bit better at the game, then I want to do that. So I mean, pretty much every night after work, I go to the arena and try to help out with the youth.
Do you have to remind yourself you're coaching 10-year-olds and not Division I, 21, 22-year-olds, skill level and expectations and all that stuff?
Well, it's funny how much of it is still the same. I mean, it's focus, it's details, it's competing. But I mean, I have a ton of fun with the young guys. They're for me, it's a constant reminder. It's just a game, and I know everybody, what happens on Friday and Saturday nights a lot of times really affects my personal life. and just, so seeing those kids and trying to just, hey, it's still a game. And, as much as my job depends on wins and losses, at the end of the day, my job really depends on, making sure these young men become great men and they're productive in the community and, and good, parents when they get older.
I love that. After a tough loss, you're miserable to be around for how long? How many hours does it stay with you? Because let's call it a Saturday night and you don't have one right away the next day.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that time, it really does affect your week. I've tried to be able to put it away at home because if my son doesn't, make his bed or put his clothes away or brush his teeth or do something he's supposed to,
you're thinking about the penalty kill. Yeah.
I can't take the anger out on them, but I mean, it affects your life. Yeah. I've gotten past the point of where I was, in my younger days coaching, I wouldn't even go to the grocery store if we lost because I was like embarrassed about it. And, you start to separate it a little bit but when people ask the questions or, critique you when you're in line to get a coffee or something, you appreciate their passion and how much it means to them. So
okay, thanks.
Yeah, I guess the answer is I've gotten better at it, but I would usually say by at home, I hopefully the boys and my wife don't know that I'm not any different. But yeah, Monday or Tuesday, I start to, get over it completely and try to use that loss to, get you ready for the next game.
Yeah. Strangest place you've drawn up a play because you had a thought or you had a conversation and I better write this down or take a note in my phone.
I mean, probably just the bathroom, or a bathroom of like a ice arena where you're like, oh, we gotta remember this or yeah. So
any of those plays end up working out?
Probably not. I mean, usually you're always trying to, come up with different things, but the majority of it is, going to be at home or in the office.
People like me use the phrase puck luck. Is that a thing to real hockey people?
No, I think it is. I mean, but I do think a lot of puck luck is just your effort and your ability to process the game and see what's going to happen and get to the right spot. So, but there are certain players, you don't know how they do it, but they just find a way. And, hopefully we got a lot of guys with puck luck this year.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I really mean it about that walkthrough at the new arena. I'd love to do that and get back around this program a little bit to see a home game for sure in the new digs. But good luck on the road to start things with Mercyhurst. Josh, really appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you're always welcome. And hey, you want to come on the road with us too? We'll take you anytime.
Sign me up. All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
The fall open house at Open House RV is here, and due to popular demand, we've decided to extend the sale through the end of October. Take home a brand new travel trailer for only $127 a month, or upgrade to a new fifth wheel for just $353 a month. Open House, your total camping outfitter.
The great thing about Novice is no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
Imagine coming home after a long day and slipping into your own personal hot tub from Wellness Spas. Let the stress of the day melt away as you soak in the therapeutic benefits of the water. Our team at Alpenhaus wants to help you relax and enjoy the advantages of owning your very own hot tub. Now offering a whole new lineup from Wellness Spas, featuring models from their City Life and Peak Life lines. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs. Visit us at Clifton Park Center and Route 30 in Amsterdam.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, here we go. We talked with Union's head coach, now RPI's head coach, Eric Lang, and going into his first season with the Engineers. A heck of a lot of success at AIC. Coach, how difficult is it to leave your alma mater?
Yeah, you know what? I was there as a player. I was there as an assistant coach, and then I was fortunate enough to go back as a head coach. And we had a really good 7 or 8 year run, good as anybody, and so we're really proud of that. And for me right now, it's the next stage of my career, and what a wonderful, incredible opportunity I have here at RPI. And the ending at AIC was quite unfortunate, but fortunately I've been able to move on from that.
I love the shot from the coach's office there at the Houston Fieldhouse behind you. You've got a crazy schedule to start this thing at home: Miami, Boston College. The schedule is the schedule, a lot of coaches would say, right? You've got to play who's in front of you. Providence is in there too. Do you look forward to that challenge right away? Is it easy to get the guys up and motivated when they see those brand names on the schedule?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. Like, if you don't play them, you can't beat them. So there's always that. It's nice that we're able to get them at home here, as you had mentioned, in the Houston Fieldhouse. And then you look inside of it, BC and Providence, they could win the entire thing this year. And then we're on the road at Mankato, but UNH will be very good. Miami's a much improved team. They did as good a job in the transfer portal and recruiting as any last year. Will certainly have us ready for easy play, which, as we know, there are no nights off in the ECAC. It's a hard league. It's a combative league. So we will be battle tested here early, and we're excited about that.
I asked Coach Hauge the same thing here. It's customary now that RPI and Union play the games that count, if you will, early in the season. Halloween weekend, I mean, nothing like baptism by fire here. Have you had a chance to talk with Josh at all? And what have you kind of gleaned about this rivalry in your time so far in Troy?
Yeah, I've always been able to watch it from a distance, from the Seth Appert, Rick Bennett days, and it's kind of moved into where Union has kind of been on top here of late. I will say this, Coach Hauge was one of the first people to reach out to me when I took the job, and he was the first one to offer services, where he lives, what his kids are doing. Here's the youth hockey.
Cool.
And that is really, sometimes the on-ice stuff, it's just a movie, and then the other stuff is real life stuff. And for Josh to kind of reach out, it was really neat, and he's done an outstanding job there. He's gone there and he's really moved the needle, and they've got a terrific brand new rink that we're excited to see as well. Hey, we're a couple of years behind where they are, but that's the standard. And before we want to be one of the top teams in the ACAC, we need to be one of the top teams in town, and that's the first benchmark for us.
If fans see an Eric Lang team on the ice, they'll be looking at what?
Here's what we can tell you, that when you walk into the Fieldhouse, you'll see an exciting brand of hockey, because we're going to play fast. There's no gliding in how we have to defend. There's no gliding to and from the bench, on our back check, up ice on our forecheck. So historically, my team, hardest working team in the ECAC, and there's a category we're charting. It's it's on our identity chart. The category is TNT, and it's just short for takes no talent. And we want to be the best things at things that require zero talent, and effort's right up there.
When you get the job at RPI, what's the first call you make to a coach or a player in the portal or a family member? Who was your first call? Do you remember?
I do. Brian Riley over at Army, who is a great, not only mentor, but I always say, like, if I could roll up a brother, a father figure, a mentor, and a best friend all in one, it would be Riles. And a lot of the success we were able to have at AIC was learned through Brian Riley and my time spent with him on that Army West Point campus. So he was one of the first phone calls, and then it's, into the players that we had here. And it was a little window where there was an opportunity for players to go into the transfer portal. There was some uncertainty with RPI hockey. There was a couple of weeks that kind of, and some guys and some of the, better statistical players hopped in the portal at that time. But I will say that the 6 or 7 that kind of hung around, we will never forget that. When there was an opportunity for them to run for their own life raft, they said, nope, RPI hockey is really important. And guys will always have a special place in my heart, just for it got hard and they said, nope, we're still in, coach. We want to be part of the solution. That's really neat. In this day and age, it's a rare occurrence, but we're guys that stayed, and we're honored to coach them.
I know you haven't played a game yet with RPI, but for those guys who decided to stick around and maybe didn't know a lot about you yet and were choosing the program and the tradition over anything else, what is it about the RPI program and tradition that you think kept them and you've understood and learned maybe that is special?
I think it starts with the institution. You graduate from RPI, in the game of life, you're going to be okay. When hockey dries up, and it dries up for everybody, whether you're an NHLer or you have a great career over in Europe, it's coming to an end. And I think these guys were smart enough to say, you know what, I could go chase something a little better on the interim, or I can graduate from a special place. And I think it started with the institution, and then obviously the great history and tradition and the field house, and we've got great fan support. There's, when you add it up, we have a lot here. And ultimately, the players that did decide to stick it out, we're going to make it worth their while.
How much do you still lace them up? And if you have to go show those guys a thing or two on the ice, you can do that?
That stick is in my hands purely so I don't fall down out there.
Come on.
I could skate and blow the whistle at the same time now. Those days are over. I was a very average college player to start with. But, the skill level and what these guys are able to do right now, the game has never been in a better place. The college game is on a ride that we've never seen before. I think it's 40% of guys that are playing in the NHL right now have played collegiately. That number is going to go, I call it the Gavin McKenna effect. There's going to be guys that are going to follow in the path that he's created here. And the college hockey game is about to get really, really special. It's going to be it's fun to be a part of it.
All right, this is a very broad question. If you could pin it down, do it for me. What do college hockey players do now better, differently than when you played? Like, what is the stark difference you notice?
Bigger, faster, stronger.
All of it.
All of it. It's not even close. I think the players right now are very serious about their diet and their sleep and their rest and their mental health. And you start adding up all of these little boxes away from just what you do on the ice. This is a little crazy, but drinking beers was. I'm still sure it's part of college culture, but guys aren't drinking beers during the week here. Like, it's their diet is really important, and their rest and how they prepare and they stretch, and their pregame routine. I remember, we were like an hour and a half we would get to, before a game. Now guys want to be there 2.5 hours before game just to help prepare. The video is on a different level. So in terms of the preparedness, everything's accessible. I had a player walk in today and say, hey, coach, I want to look at all the Miami centers and how they're winning faceoffs. Can you get that information to me? And it's a couple clicks and he has it. So they're set up for success. But they're incredibly dedicated to their craft.
Couple of thoughts just on that answer alone. They're learning no matter how old you are, the older you get, we don't bounce back the way we used to, whether we're in college or not. Secondly, how nice is it to have a player coming to you asking for that information as opposed to you force feeding it, if you will, or providing it, without that player asking. That has got to make you feel like, okay, we're moving in the right direction here.
No, 100%. And the level of commitment it takes to be successful is we're all looking for a competitive advantage as a program, as players, and to have players that are independently seeking out, if it gives them this, an inch to gain, they're in here willing to do it. It'll add up, and it'll make a difference for sure.
All right, I don't want you to put yourself in a conflicting position with any sponsors attached to the program, but new to the area, what spots have you found that the family enjoys?
I'm just getting my feet underneath me. So we take the job in April. We needed just about 19 or 20 players. I feel like I'm just coming up for a breath of air here, and now our season is here.
Yeah.
Now we've got an 8-month journey, 6-7 days a week. I've been to Mannery's downtown Troy, which is a legendary diner, and there's an incredible history behind the place, and there's some really neat RPI hockey history inside the place. So I was just there on the weekend. I've DeFazio's Pizza.
Yeah.
We've checked that box. Everything else right now for me is if you have a recommendation, we're all ears.
I got a bunch of them that we can do off air, so I don't take up too much of your time here. But the Ruck has forever been an RPI spot in Troy, which I know you'll get to if you haven't yet. They say the wings are good. So that's one spot. But we'll connect on a bunch of the other places. There's so much in Troy to kind of check out. And once you go beyond the Troy area, there's a ton of great restaurants and things to see in the 518.
City's trending in a direction. I say, the city's trending in a great direction. The downtown feels like a great waterfront downtown.
Yep.
We're seeing vibrant businesses starting to move into Troy. It's really neat for the RPI community to be a part of this.
Last thing, and I'll let you go. I don't know that this is like small town. Maybe it exists in any college program. When you're the head coach, the face of a program, how much of it do you feel like is incumbent on you to be part of the community when you're out for people to say, oh yeah, that's the RPI hockey coach, whether it's wearing gear all the time or just being around at functions to the best of your ability when you're not family coaching, just to kind of be out and about?
Yeah, I need to be forward facing here in the community. We have a lot of work to do. It's a heavy lift. We need our alumni. We need our corporate sponsors. We need our fan base. We need it all. And we're all intertwined into each other's future success. Yeah. We have great crowds in the Houston Fieldhouse. It makes recruiting a little bit easier. We start winning games. We need to get this momentum going and get this snowball rolling downhill a little bit. I will certainly be out and about and around as much as I can, but certainly want to be visible in the community, in terms of our youth hockey and making sure we give back in a place that's important. Our players are going to be out. So all of these things, we need to check all of these boxes here.
All right, we're going to let you run. Big week, busy week. We appreciate the time, man. First time on Onorato and Miller here with News Channel 13. Eric, thanks you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
The fall open house at Open House RV is here. Your best chance to save big before the season ends. And due to popular demand, we've decided to extend the sale through the end of October. Take home a brand new travel trailer for only $127 a month, or upgrade to a new fifth wheel for just $353 a month. Shop a huge selection of new and pre-owned RVs, including 2025 closeouts, and free storage until spring. Take advantage of show pricing now through October 31st at Open House RV in Amsterdam and Saratoga. Open House, your total camping outfitter.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpen House.
All right, not a lot of time and still a lot left to do here. Jeff's right. Hockey starting everywhere these next few weeks. We will definitely check in with Glens Falls as well. We didn't catch you off guard, Carol. I know we would, even though we started early here. And Ashley is work busy, I think frustrated by the Yankees for sure, but not to the point where she would ever miss this show. There's no way. Of course not. Matt Gage is next on O&M.
Best is back at Alpen House Saturday, October 18th. We're bringing the party to all 3 locations, Amsterdam, Clifton Park, and Hauge Venture in Latham. Enjoy food, craft beer, live music, plus a huge tent sale with big savings on equipment and apparel. And we're throwing it back with retro pricing on ski tuning, getting your setup dialed in for the same prices we charged back in 1964. It's all happening Saturday, October 18th at Skitoberfest, only at Alpen House. The season starts here.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
The fall open house at Open House RV is here. And due to popular demand, we've decided to extend the sale through the end of October. Take home a brand new travel trailer for only $127 a month, or upgrade to a new fifth wheel for just $353 a month. Open House, your total camping outfitter.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpen House.
Now on Onorato and Miller, Matt Gage, Broadalbin-Perth grad, Siena grad. It's funny, we always say like BP grad. We somehow leave off Siena. I don't know why. Siena guy as well, and now a major league pitcher from the 518. So cool to see where you came from, Matt, where you are now. Thanks for doing the show, dude. And congratulations on going into the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame. How did that feel?
Thank you. I really appreciate it. The being inducted is unbelievable. I mean, you always grow up and you want to get to Cooperstown, and only a select few get there. So being able to be recognized and get into the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame, it's pretty special.
And I heard you say, right, to see your name on a plaque. I don't know, like what goes through you emotionally when you see that?
I mean, it's one of those things, like I said, you always strive for. Like NFL has the bus, the NBA has some different things over there. And the MLB, we have plaques. And it's one of those things is having your name on a plaque and something that will live on in the museum for long after I'm done playing is amazing, and especially because the museum's right across from Parkhurst Field. So having the Glowers of the Little Leaguers come through, play there, maybe stop in after they're done playing and get to see all the jerseys and everything that Rene has over there. It's truly awesome building that he has.
So cool. What do you think has changed in your game or somebody's evaluation of you, where over the last few years, like now you're a guy that teams want on their major league roster, their 40-man, and trust you coming out of the bullpen?
My biggest belief has to be the velocity. I mean, I went from throwing 86, 88 as a starter, maybe touching 91, 92, to now I throw in the low to mid 90s. Stuff got a little bit sharper. But the other thing is I think my track record kind of goes along with it. Like I've always come in, I've gotten the job done. My September was a little rough, but down the stretch you get a little tired. I was just trying to do whatever I could for the Giants down the stretch to try to make a playoff push. So body was going through it. Mentally, we were going through it. Guys started getting hits on pitches that you don't think they would give up hits on. Mm-hmm. So it was just one of those things. But I was just truly blessed this year to have Detroit give me a chance for a couple of weeks. And, they made a made a roster move, and they needed a business move, and they needed a starter, so they designated me and brought up Dietrich, which is no problem. And then San Francisco gave me a chance and gave me a long run, 2.5 months. And to me, it was a big learning experience, because now I know what I have to do to get ready to be able to throw 70 innings a year in the big leagues and be able to compete all the way through September, not just to September.
Blue Jays, Astros, Tigers, Giants now, it all adds up to a 2.66 ERA, man, in 49 games over your career. You said it. You come in, you get the job done. Okay, you said you now know what it takes to go 70-plus appearances. More mental or more physical?
A little bit of both. I would say more physical, honestly. Mentally, we can kind of get through it a little bit, because you always can look back and look at the pitches that you gave up hits on and be like, well, that was still a good pitch, or like, so what are they seeing and stuff like that. So then it goes back to the physically, and it's like, okay, where's the body at? Like checking in, seeing how the body feels and where we're hurting and where we're not feeling we're just right, and does that take something off the pitches? So those two things kind of go hand in hand. So when you only throw 45 innings, you can kind of football lift. Like I'm throwing them weight around, doing different things. They got a little bit bigger. And then all of a sudden this year it was 70 innings. August came and went, and it was like, wait, we still got a month left. And so I can't keep lifting like this. So the body was a little exhausted down the stretch. That's for sure.
Interesting. Did you get any Pizza Supreme while you were home?
No, I didn't get there.
I don't know what the off-season regimen is. What will your off-season be like? The unknown, right, has to be, I would say, unsettling but exciting in a lot of ways, knowing you've built up the resume that you will have teams calling you as a free agent. Do you do anything differently, not having maybe a team that you're specifically focused on how you fit in?
So right now I'm still with the Giants. So we'll kind of see based upon what they want to do with the organization going forward. I mean, we're still looking for a manager, still looking for a couple coaches. So, and then once they make those decisions, then they go to the roster. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I've done this plenty of times, and if something happens where I'm not a Giant for next year, then we'll see where my agent gets some calls from, and we'll go from there. But to me, it's just the same old. It's whoever calls and makes the best deal, we'll see where we end up. So it's just one of those things, is part of the business. You got to look at it that way. You can't take it personally, and it's just where the next opportunity is, because no one uses just 26 guys at the major league level to get to the playoffs. The teams like last year, I think the Dodgers used almost 85 guys or something like that to win the World Series. So you got to have the depth, and knowing that I'm a depth piece, and I'm okay with that.
So, okay, for my own education here, your contract is what? You still with the Giants?
Yeah, so when your contract gets selected to the big league level, you then have to play out 6 full major league seasons to become a free agent. Unless I have something kind of what Justin Verlander was drinking this year in the clubhouse, some Kool-Aid, but I don't know if I'll get the 6 years, but we'll see.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, 20 plus years of service time is incredible. It's amazing.
What do you learn from being around somebody like that?
That was the big one. It's like seeing how he prepares for the season and prepares for the game. Like,
All right, a little bit of an issue there with Matt's interview. We will get that on for the TV crowd for sure. All right, let's take a break here on Onorato and Miller. We come back. We still got more NFL to do. We're back in a minute here on O&M. Hang tight.
The great thing about novices, no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
Get ready for the thrill of a lifetime with Tracker fishing boats, available at Alpenhaus. Feel the rush as you reel in your trophy catch, supported by Tracker's unmatched stability. Prepare to conquer any challenge with cutting-edge tech at your fingertips and the freedom to explore without limits. Make waves this season and experience the ultimate fishing adventure with Tracker fishing boats at Alpenhaus. your source for fun since 1964.
The great thing about Novice is no matter who you are, they're going to put all the detail in the world into your brand. I feel like they have been a big part of my success, making me feel comfortable.
This is Harrison Butker, Super Bowl champion kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, before we go, how about the games in college football this weekend? From noon tonight, we've got some really good ones here. Hope you get a chance to sit down and watch a little bit of these. I know I will take in as many of the noons as I can. 3:30 games are huge here. The Red River rivalry, Oklahoma, Texas. I hate having to say that. Indiana and Oregon also 3:30. That's the game of the weekend. Indiana and Oregon. Who would have thought we would be saying that a few years ago? A Big Ten matchup that maybe is the best game of the weekend. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching Onorato and Miller. We'll see you next week.